Hey guys, it's Joel from MoonlitsHollow, back again here today. It's been a really long time since I last did a YouTube video. And there's a few reasons for that. Mostly I've just been really busy. I do release an insane amount of content on my Patreon. There's all different tiers that you can subscribe to with different discounts, different perks like readings, server tours, empowerments, as well as just a load of educational content on a wide range of different subjects, like the bestiary, where we talk about different soul races and entities, energy work, elemental magic, AP, which is what we'll be talking about here today, and just a whole bunch of stuff. But what I really wanted to do on this YouTube video is discuss astral projection. Of course, it's something that intrigues and interests a great number of people across all different disciplines, and I want to sort of give you the MoonlitsHollow method to AP, some of the things that I think people should be aware of and should, have a bit of knowledge about before they delve into it. Okay, I'll also be exploring, I guess, some of the challenges. I'm just taking some notes so I remember a few things here today. Okay, sometimes there are blocks and issues in our way that are not so easily rectified, and that's okay. We'll work through those as well. I do detail my MoonlitsHollow method, or Joel's method for short, in this video, but I don't go through each step in terms of like an actual method. That's mainly reserved for my patrons or for clientele that work with me regularly, because there are a few things, there's a couple of knacks to it, okay? Learning to AP and sort of going through these steps is like doing energy work, okay? As we go through AP and learn to do it, we are in fact doing energy work, just in a unique way. Okay, so sometimes some of that needs a little bit of a push or a helping hand or a guide. Okay, but if you figure it out yourself, that's awesome and good on you. Okay, um, so let's talk about my steps here. Okay, we have number 0. So this is the prologue, the precursor to our practice. We have understanding the theory and dangers. Okay. Next, step number 1, envisioning the energy body, or EB for short. Number 2, moving energies into the energy body / circulation of these energies. 3, moving limbs. 4, consciousness transfer. And 5, separation, and the actual sort of act of achieving AP. First, let's talk about the theory and dangers. I also tend to practice what is called partial AP, meaning that is not fully, unconscious, or rather a fully unconscious form of AP. And we'll talk about those today. The basic theory, regardless of what form of AP you choose, is that when you are engaging in AP, you embody the energy body, or EB for short. The energy body is like a vehicle of sorts that every soul possesses, and it enables you to basically explore various planes, the spiritual plane, other places through this form. This form is not an invulnerable vehicle. It can be hurt and it can be killed and maimed, etc., etc. It is something that requires the act of AP, whilst it can be a beautiful experience, you can encounter entities that are negative, or other practitioners, or those that wish to harm you. And that's why self-defense and being capable of active self-defense through EM, energy manipulation, that's my other word for energy work, or some other sort of discipline, is critical. Okay, we all need to be able to defend ourselves. We can't just rely on our spiritual companions to keep us safe, because that's not fair to them. It should be, two-way street. They protect us, we protect them. I think that's only fair. And we do the best we can, of course. So we pilot this energy body, and we explore the planes with it. Yes, I think one of the biggest misconceptions that I do like to sort of debunk, personally, and this may, be different to what you believe in, and that's fine. Same with all my videos. If there's something you don't agree with, or you aren't fond of, or whatever, that's fine. Okay? I'm not out here to preach a one way or one truth, okay? Everyone has their own answers, and that's completely fine. These are the answers that I've come to, and they are what work for me and my clientele, okay? From a very heavily energy worker sort of focused perspective, okay? Okay, so the biggest misconception, I think, is the soul is invulnerable, it's invincible. And that's not true, okay? There are many old souls wandering around, but the soul can die, okay? The soul can die from natural causes eventually, once it reaches its end. Everything has an end. This is illustrated in Norse mythology with Ragnarok, okay? Everything has to have an end for there to be balance. Whether gods or mortals or whatever, everything has to have an end because that is balance. Without an end, there is no beginning. Okay? Souls are privy to this too. So they have to have an end. Souls can also be killed. Okay? Um, the natural state of a soul is not to be incarnated. Okay? When the soul is not incarnated on a specific plane of existence or somewhere, it just exists in the spiritual plane or in other planes as well. It just is that soul, it embodies the soul. That soul can live a life, have a livelihood, families, connections, everything. Okay? They live like us. Okay? And each incarnation is a stepping stone, a new lifetime where we can grow and learn and develop, be a different person, have new experiences, positive, negative. Regardless, it helps us grow and can challenge us to be, or inspire us at times to be someone new, to choose something different and see where it leads us. Okay? So do understand that the energy body is not invulnerable, that it can be hurt, and that hurt can channel to your energy system, to your soul, to all the different parts of you. The energy body is a part of you, but it's a very integral part. Okay? Um, those are sort of the real sort of theory and dangers behind it. So in this sort of method today, we will be exploring the act of partial AP. So I did mention a little bit about this, but let's delve into it together. Partial AP is the energy worker's bread and butter. It enables us to astrally project or engage in AP while it's still being conscious. So we can, and this looks differently for everyone. For some, that means that they enter a meditative state or a trance. Others, they can operate like you and I. I could be projecting right now, even while engaging in this video, because I'm separating part of my consciousness to embody the energy body or the EB, and then doing things. And as I'm doing things with that energy body in my mind, there's like a film being played out, like a live action film where I'm in control of what I do and what's happening to me. Okay? Um, you know, a lot of people want to experience that full AP, which is you go to bed, you go to sleep, and you astrally project. Okay? And I mean, it's definitely an awesome experience. I've been there quite a few times myself. But partial AP grants more control as a practitioner of what you're doing and when. Okay? You can do partial AP at any point. Okay? Um, you could be standing in a room and have your energy body standing next to you and use the energy body to interact with spirits. You can use your energy body to fight for you, it's a part of you. You can use it however you wish. You can explore planes while you're at work, at your boring job, whatever it is, you can do it. Partial AP is very versatile. As an energy worker, someone that manipulates spiritual energies for a wide range of purposes, AP or partial AP is very useful and viable. We can whip it out at any point. We don't have to be asleep or in a deep trance or meditative state. Although it looks different to everyone, and whatever way you choose, completely fine. The method that we explore today can work for both full AP, so falling asleep, entering that dreamlike state, then projecting and being embodied in that body. But it is specifically geared towards partial AP, but the same tenets can be applied either way. Okay. Let's sort of go through each step. Now that we've covered the theory and dangers and why partial and full AP exists, actually no, before we delve into it, let me talk more about two things. How partial projections work, and a bit more about that, as well as the challenges or struggles of AP, so blocks. So before we delve into the act of AP or the method, let's talk about all the stuff before. Okay? So with a partial projection, we are splitting our consciousness across multiple different forms or I suppose, applications of our being. Okay, there's no real way to put this. It's the language that we can use is a bit convoluted, but we'll figure it out. Um, it is possible to have more than one energy body active at any one time. So an experienced energy worker can have multiple different energy bodies, different projections or astral projections at multiple times. So they could be active in one plane, they could be have an energy body an energy body active on Earth and somewhere else as well. Except the only problem with this is everyone can do it. It is very draining. As practitioners, we have resources, okay? And although we naturally replenish these resources, we do have a capacity, we do have a limit, okay? So for instance, when we are engaging in partial AP and maybe doing a splitting of projections, we are using resources. The resources that we are using, we have we have our spiritual energies. It takes energy to be able to split our projections, to be active elsewhere. They're like, imagine they are, well, yeah, that they are other bodies, other versions of your being hooked up to the same battery. Okay, so they might each have their own little battery, but they're all hooked up to you, and it depends on how much energy you have spiritually, um, as to how long that they can exist outside of your being. Okay, so you're using all this energy to sustain them and keep them active. Okay. Secondly, mental energy. This is the one that gets people a lot more than spiritual energy. Your mental energy will run out far before your spiritual energy does. In most cases. That's that. You've been at work all day looking at some really heavy concepts, or people have been nagging you, or being really sort of socially draining. That mental drain where you can't string a thought together, that happens. And when you run out of that mental energy, you won't be able to maintain those projections properly. They may still be there, but you won't be able to tune in properly. You won't be aware of what's happening. You're all drained. You just don't have any energy. Additionally, the third one is that when we are engaging in this, we are draining our physical energies too. Okay, so if we are at a loss with spiritual and mental energy, that will affect our physical body. We may feel fatigued, tired, tense, sore, stiff, aches and pains, whatever. So we do expend a bit of physical energy too, or rather, it can affect the physical as well. Okay, so partial AP is fantastic, as is any AP. Even with full AP, you're still using these resources. It doesn't matter. Okay, even though it's easier to concentrate your consciousness on one body, particularly if you are embodied within the energy body in that full AP, you're still using these resources to move about and do stuff. Okay, so keep in mind that we have resources, we all have limits, everyone has different capacities, bigger and smaller batteries. Some people have small batteries but replenish really quickly, others big battery, slow replenish. Everyone's different, and that's okay. Now let's talk about the challenges and struggles of AP. The reason why I really preach the energy worker method to people, and I've explored this before in a different video, being an energy worker makes you versatile. I could look at any discipline, any practice, magical or otherwise, ritualistic or not, and come up with something for it. Magic harnesses energy in a more refined manner to provide that end result. Whereas with energy workers, we are harnessing the energies of that magic or any system, or just even directly, to use it appropriately. We are more versatile. We're not beholden to altars, to sigils, to any sort of practice. Although, of course, using those systems can make energy and magic more powerful because it gives the practitioner a tether or an anchor to focus on and utilize. Okay, but people can be just as strong without them too. Okay, it's just the individualistic stuff. Okay, oftentimes the biggest block for people. Actually, no, sorry, I'm skipping ahead there. Back to energy work. Let's see. My mind's running too fast for me. Yes, energy work. So the act of astral projection is energy work. It is magic. It fits into all the different categories, okay, for what it is. By knowing energy work, we can actively delve into AP and move our energies around the energy system of the energy body and really sort of kickstart things. if we didn't have that understanding of energy work, we wouldn't actually be able to really bring the energy body to life, wake it up, get it moving. Think of it like an old tractor. Hasn't kicked over or been turned on in 30 years. When we try to turn it on, it's going to cough and splutter. It might come to life, it might not. It's an old engine, it's been sitting there for a long time. That's what the energy body is to a lot of people. It just won't. It's been sitting idle for however old you are, since the last time you had a projection, and consistent projections, not just once a night every 6 months, but like constant projections or consistent. It's going to take you a while to kick over and come to life. But with energy work, we can energize the energy body. The energy body is energy. By using energy, we can bring it back to life and get it going so much quicker. And it also gives us unique applications for self-defense and magic. And it keeps us versatile and able, regardless of what the dynamic or the situation is. Okay? So that's why energy work is critical. Now, with the challenges of AP, I suppose what I'm trying to say with the energy work stuff, just quickly, is that you can do this stuff without having an energy work basis, but you make it so much easier for yourself if you know energy work. Even just the basics, you don't need much. Being able to move energy around, direct your will through it, make it happen, form shapes. With that, you could still make this work. It wouldn't be as effective as an intermediate or advanced practitioner, but it's still viable. One of the biggest blocks for practitioners, is soul blocks. The soul often, in a lot of cases, and it not only applies to AP, but lots of different areas, the soul has a very specific wish for you. Okay, it's set out this path. Timmy is going to go here, have this experience, this, and this. He's not ready for AP. He's going to do that later. The soul will actively block you and prevent you from APing or achieving astral projection in a lot of cases. And there's no real breakthrough for that. You just have to adhere to it. You can sometimes make compromises with the soul and communicate and really have that, two-way street communication and honest discussion. But a lot of times they do it for a reason. Then you're not ready. You can't defend yourself. You don't know enough right now. This will be of better value to you when you are more experienced and more powerful in your practice and more actualized as a person, blah blah blah. Okay? The soul can keep you back, and you can use as much magic as you want, you can empower yourself as much as you like, but the soul will basically just push you back in and keep you there. And you versus the soul's probably going to win, okay? Even though you're the same person and you have similar values, but a lot of people are in disconnect with the soul. They're not the same person. They're sort of disconnected. There's a divide between them. The closer you get, the more you become them, and the better things are for all your practices and for everything in life, really. You're stronger, more determined, more actualized, driven, courageous, etc. Okay? So the soul will keep you back. Let's see here. What can I think with the soul, I understand why people pursue AP. It's a fascinating thing to do. It's amazing. You can have lots of awesome experiences with spirit companions, with ancestral entities. There's so much awesome things you can do. But rushing there will only get you hurt. If you try to rush through it and rush into it without self-defense knowledge of magic and that sort of more intermediate advanced use of magic or energy, you're going to get hurt, okay? And you may think, I'll be fine, I'll heal or whatever, but you may not. You can get seriously maimed and lose your abilities to practice or suffer physically for, being injured to a very high degree. You can experience pains, different illnesses. It can be very negative, so please be cautious there, okay? There are other blocks that come up, and most of them are related to lack of practice, okay? The biggest other block, other than the soul, is your spiritual senses are not up to speed. I can make people project, I can drag them out by force of will and through my magic, but a lot of times when I've done that, their senses are not equipped properly, okay? They cannot see, they cannot sense, they can get some sort of sense, but it's very lacking. There's not much to it, okay? That's because they haven't put in their due diligence and work and time and effort to become better with senses. They haven't practiced readings, scans, whatever you want to call them, working with spirits more, just building up, having a regular, consistent practice, no matter what it is. They have not built up their abilities well enough to be able to use their spiritual senses or senses of the soul to see, to hear, to taste, to touch, to smell, etc. To use their intuition, to use psychic abilities, whatever it is. They just don't have the equipment required to successfully achieve AP. They can achieve AP. What's the point of doing it if you can't see anything or can't hear anything or can't be present and actually really enjoy the profound experience? Okay, so this is why having that practice is critical. And it stops a lot of people from getting there. A lot of blocks that come, and there can be other blocks, other seals, energy blockages, etc., related to AP and trying to AP that will hold you back. They can be broken. If you are at the right level, you can release these blocks, just like you would release blockages in your energetic pathways or system or something like that. Same sort of method you can apply to those other blocks to give you that, to help you pull away and get away properly. Okay. So those are the three things: soul blocks, lack of senses, and lack of defense or ability to defend the self. Those are the three main things that I think are precursors to an unenjoyable AP attempt. Okay. Now that we've got all that stuff out the way, let's talk about, and there's a lot more to it, but this is a very rough, I guess, insight into the situation. There's a lot of things we could talk about today, but we'll try to keep it on track. If I miss anything out, I'll post down below, or you can ask questions and I'll help out that way too. Let's talk about the method. So we've completed number 0, understanding theory and dangers. Okay. Number 1, envisioning the energy body. The basic tenets of energy work are intention, visualization, and will. You set the intention. Okay, I want to see my energy body. You visualize it, and you bring it to life through force of will. You create this powerful belief in it. You are bringing it to life, like you bring your, energies to life, through force of will or your magical workings or whatever it is. Same sort of thing. You bring it to life through force of will and making it happen. By envisioning the energy body, we bring it to life. We sort of help ourselves connect with it. Okay, so that's the first step. We want to be able to envision it contained within the physical body and bring it to life in our minds. The second step is we begin moving energies into the energy body. The energy body has its own energy system and is like a copycat version of our physical energy system, but more in line with the soul. So if we're a non-human soul or we've got other things going on, the energy system structure will be different, but it may be in some ways reminiscent of what we have inside us, okay? Or it may be the same. It really just depends on the person. We move energy into this sort of dried up husk of an energy system and bring it back to life. If you think of the energy system like the cardiovascular system of the human body, we're giving it a blood transfusion of energy, okay? We're bringing it back to life. And getting the heart beating, the core going, the energies flowing, etc. That's what we need to do. We need to circulate energies all around the energy body, from your feet to your head, shoulders, arms, back, stomach, abdomen, fingers, toes, whatever. We need to get all that energy circulating and moving, okay, to really bring it back to life and get it going. We're kicking over that old tractor or that old engine. Number 3, moving limbs. The energy body is an energy body. It's energy. The same way that you can move spiritual energies, you can move the energy body. You can move limbs, intention, visualization, will. Learning to move your limbs and, even just sort of shrugging or other movements that don't have to be complex movements like this. They can just be sort of twisting and moving around. That will help you connect with the energy body, help you learn to feel the body, connect with it deeper, and assist greatly in achieving AP. Number 4, consciousness transfer. Regardless of partial or full AP, for full AP it's a bit different because you will be asleep, but you still need to take yourself from the body and put yourself in the energy body. Okay, you still need to have that transfer of your consciousness or lucidity, awareness, whatever you want to call it. For this step in partial AP, we would take our consciousness, our presence, our awareness, whatever, from our mind and transfer it into the mind of the energy body. Okay? So taking part of ourself, maybe splitting off a chunk and putting it down inside the energy body. In partial AP, we are still here, we are still present, but more of a, it's like putting our mental focus somewhere else. Okay? I could be talking to you right now, but my focus is somewhere else entirely. Okay? Then we come to separation. This is where energy can come in clutch, basically. We get to the point where we can basically utilize energy to push us out of the energy body or just stand up. If you get good enough with moving limbs, there's no reason why you can't just stand up and move out of the constraints or the form of your physical body. Or you can use energy to pull you out and stuff like that. Okay? I know that a lot of methods talk about, pulling on the rope or rolling over or whatever. And I mean, they are still methods that work for people. But if you can really feel your limbs and get them moving, there's no reason why you can't just step up or move out of the body. Okay? Just will it. And really use your force of will to drive the point home and make it happen. Okay? A lot of people lack the force of will to make things happen. And that's half the problem. They also have no spiritual senses, no, ability to muster their spiritual energies, etc. Okay, and that's why they never achieve AP, period. They may have dreams about AP, but whether or not that's actual AP is debatable. Okay, but we won't talk about that today. That's the sort of it's the 6 steps, but the 5 main steps of AP, and that's how one can achieve it. There's a lot more to AP than just this, but I hope that this was a good cursory look into the situation and that you found it interesting to listen to. I do plan on posting more YouTube videos moving forward into 2023 now that the busyness is over and I have a bit more time to focus on, posting these things to help people and sort of sharing different opinions and perspectives and such things like that. So, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or queries, post them down below. If you have any suggestions on videos that you would love to listen to or see, do let me know as well. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks everyone. Bye.